and thanks for staying with us. This is Focus Nigeria. My name is Amechi Anapua. Now, the 2027 general election is on the horizon. From a distance, one can see the shape of things evolving, shape of things to come. The ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, last weekend held a successful national convention where its national officers were elected. So much is happening within the opposition parties as the African Democratic Congress, ADC, has assumed the status of the biggest opposition party in Nigeria and is getting ready to give the ruling APC a big run for its money. While the People's Democratic Party, PDP, is entangled in a series of court cases that have now culminated in the matter before the Supreme Court, the Apex Court. Two new political parties were recently registered. One of them is the Nigeria Democratic Congress, ADC, and they're trying to make inroads into Nigeria's political scene. And so, in our discourse today, we shall review the state of political parties and the dynamics in the run-up to the 2027 general elections. We shall also review governance issues within the Niger Delta region, especially Bayelsa State. My guest is Joseph Ambakederimo, the convener, South Reawakening Group. Before we meet with him, let's update you with big issues in the news. The National Assembly has passed the 68.3 trillion naira 2026 appropriation bill. This followed a request by President Bola Tinubu for an additional 9 trillion naira to the initial budget proposal. The request raised the total budget size from 58.4 trillion earlier presented in the year to the National Assembly to 68.3 trillion. The 9 trillion increase is intended to address outstanding obligations and accommodate strategic national interventions.
The proposed adjustment were intended to regularize the outstanding legacy capital commitment carried over from the previous appropriation cycle, thereby ensuring that the 2026 fiscal program is not unduly burdened by the unresolved obligation from earlier years. The proposal also sought to accommodate a limited number of strategic interventions in the area of transport, health, and institutional preparedness considered critical to national development and governance continuity.
But based on these proposed adjustments that is brought by Mr. President, we have the Maiduguri-Sokoto Highway, which is going to traverse across the north-central part of the country up to Maiduguri, thereby opening off economic activities, generating multiplier effect and what have you. Again, we have the Calabar-Maiduguri rail project, which has been in the front burner for long, but this government has decided to take the bull by the horn, put it in the budget for the purpose of implementation and to give the south and the northeast a sense of belonging when it comes to the rail project and for the purpose of connectivity and whatever.
So we hope, with all the support we give Mr. President for all his requests, loans and other things, we hope these laudable projects proposed in 2026 will be fully implemented.
And all the committees that tirelessly worked on this 2026 appropriation bill, which has now passed third reading. And I want to say that, yes, indeed, that you've done a good job after months and months of not sleeping. And this is for your country. And our prayer now in the Senate is that God will enable the current president, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to have the necessary revenue to meet up the expenses expected from here for the benefit of our country. So,
concurrence from the House of Representatives, the bill should be before the President for assent. So, 2026 appropriation bill passed by the National Assembly awaiting presidential assent. Still with the National Assembly, the Parliament has granted President Bola Tinubu's request to assess a $5 billion loan from the First Abu Dhabi Bank of the United Arab Emirates and another $1 billion loan from the London branch of Citibank for several key development obligations. In a letter to both chambers of the National Assembly, President Tinubu explained the importance of the two requests, promising the executive's commitment to use the loans for the growth of the economy.
Request for the approval and resolution of the National Assembly to establish a structured total return swap external financing program of up to $5 billion with First Abu Dhabi Bank to support federal funding and fiscal liquidity management. Use of proceeds. The use of proceeds will include budget implementation, development of key infrastructure projects which are our priority to the administration and the nation, and repayment of relatively more expensive domestic and external debts in the federal government of Nigeria debt portfolio. It would also enable the federal government of Nigeria to meet other urgent financial needs that may be approved from time to time by the president.
The second is that the federal government of Nigeria makes margining payments to First Abu Dhabi Bank in USD cash upon demand, if at any time, either due to fluctuations in the market prices of the federal government securities or as a result of movement in exchange rate, or both, the value of the collateral issued to FAB falls below the initial value at the time of issuance. Carried. 3, that the $5 billion United States dollars should be drawn down in tranches, with each tranche comprising of a corresponding confirmation and other ancillary agreements as may be required between the federal government of Nigeria and First Abu Dhabi Bank, PJSC. Carried.
The National Assembly putting a stamp of authority on the request from President Bola Tinubu for additional $5 billion loan. And we end our news review with the position of former President Goodluck Jonathan and other stakeholders in Nigeria's maritime sector on the need for Nigeria to invest more in deep sea ports, saying at the moment the ports we have within our territory are not up to deep, are not as deep as required by international standards. They were speaking at a stakeholders conference on this seaport in Lagos.
The world is migrating to another phase, and Nigeria must do something. Before we wake up one day and no ship will come to Nigeria again, they will begin to find a way to transport our goods from neighboring countries down to Nigeria.
With a coastline spanning over 853 kilometers, there is no gainsaying the fact that Nigeria is a critical player in the Committee of Maritime Nations. This is why we must commend Mr. President for his bold efforts to create the enabling environment for the growth and development of this very vital sector.
We cannot continue to concentrate things on one side because it doesn't all go well for development. That means the president, let it be one of the legacies he will leave behind. Sign that bill that is presently on his table.
Well, we'll go for a break. When we come back, discuss threats, state of the political parties, especially opposition parties in the run-up to the next general election. Do stay with us.
This call is probably to the president now to be very watchful, not to be tempted to probably imagine this time as a time to bring in too many new people, because what time will they have to learn the ropes so as to be able to deliver? What time would they have, for instance, to make impact, the impact that will be contributory to the much touted Renew Hope agenda, like they often tell us? Again, we look at those who are probably still in office, would the president be thinking of doing some rejigging, some reshuffling? If that would be done, for instance, again, care has to be taken to begin to prepare. But while we're also preparing, we shouldn't lose sight of quality governance, productive and effective governance. There's no point to drop the momentum, rightly or wrongly. They have been doing their best. We're not saying that they are perfect, but the little they've been doing, there's no point dropping the momentum along that direction, which is why this call is obviously very important in my own reckoning. The aspect of governance is still very, very important. And if governance is towards uplifting the well-being of the people, it has to be effective. And for it to be effective, personnel have to be up and doing. They do not have to shack their responsibility. They do not have to drop the battle, as armor bearers of people's welfare. They have to be up to the expectations bestowed on them. And yes, I agree with you that the president shouldn't just politicize the process. He should also be mindful of the ability to perform. It shouldn't just be all about politics, all about election. It should also be about technocracy, about expertise, about service delivery. It's a notion that governance is not for service, but for self-aggrandizement. For you to serve the interest of yourself, your friends, your associates. And we are seeing it happening, but much as it is happening, we're also seeing work being done in some circles,
Thank you so much for staying with us. My guest is Joseph Mbaka-Derimo, convener South-South Reawakening Group. Thank you so much for joining us today. Yes, how is the South-South Reawakening Group? Are they reawakening the region or the entire nation?
Of course, the reawakening is superb. We are good to go.
Okay, now let's look at Nigeria's political system, especially party system, in the run-up to the election. A lot of defections into the APC, 32 governors as it were, unprecedented. PDP got up to 29 governors in the past, but APC has indeed raised the ante as it were. For so many people, the deed has been done. No need to think about the next election. Is it done and dusted?
Okay, APC as a party have broken the record. Maybe until next election cycle, we may have more governors going to the ruling party. But for me, I think it's good for democracy. Some people may want to argue.
They say it's one party state. It's one party state good for democracy.
I don't buy into that kind of narrative. Politics is dynamic. That's what we say. So if we agree that politics is dynamic, so why are we crying, So going forward, I think people have made claims that the ruling party, bring pressure on people to decamp to their party, to the APC. And like you mentioned, let us not forget, in the past, this is how people move. It has become a norm in our politics. People move. For me, I support the movement of people. You go to where best you think your interests will be protected. And most importantly, your people. I always use that phrase.
So what's where does one's interest end and where?
I was one of those
those that are defecting are claiming is that, for the interest of my people, when some others have said, no, it's for their own political interest.
Yes, it is left for the people to also hold leadership to account. If you mention my name, I should be able to hold you to account. Yes, you brought me this far to this place. What is in there for me, for us? That is what should be happening. But again, many of us Nigerians are docile. in politics. You hold people to account. That's leadership.
Failure to hold
Failure to hold
account
account,
enthrones impunity.
Yeah,
I agree with you on that.
So this is where we should drop the anchor. Let us go and sit there on the table where decisions have been made, where the resources have been appropriated for the people. Then when we come back home, we now hold our leaders to account.
Is that the only way for a people to get their fair share?
It is not the
belonging to the center?
No, you can be in the position and still do well and still do good. But like I mentioned, how many of us have called leadership to account?
Now, let's look at what Bola Tinubu did as Lagos State Governor. He not just was in the opposition, he led the opposition.
Yes.
Opposed the federal government, dragged the federal government to Supreme Court over issue of local government council. And we are yet to see a sitting governor like that oppose the federal government the way he did. Is it that he had courage while others lack courage?
We are coming back to the opening statement you made. You sit down somewhere and you don't know your left from your right, you don't know what to do. And when somebody else did it, you begin to question. No. You must rise up, you get up to do the things that you need to do. If he did that time, like you mentioned, why is no one doing it today?
That's why I asked, is it lack of courage?
Courage. Maybe, perhaps, I don't know. I don't want to use some kind of word this morning to try to maybe diminish people, you know. But you must be vibrant, virile, to do the things that you are supposed to do. The Constitution is clear for everybody to see. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the subnationals. There's a law step-by-step guide in every part of governance. Today we're talking of local government autonomy. Have we started already? They are just doing nothing, most of them. But there are some doing good. So also the governors. Many doing good. Like my governor in Bayelsa. You know.
That's Doyediri.
You know, because some of us in the past have held people to account. You know, I don't sit down just to begin to lament. No, I don't do that. Personally speaking, for myself, I don't do that. I question every part that you take. And that is what Nigerians should be doing. Not just holding our phones here and be complaining. Even these phones we are holding, you can use it successfully to do something tangible for yourself and for society. But we're not doing it.
I'm talking about the Bayelsa governor. He was one of those that moved, defected to the APC.
Yes, I even made a contribution to that effect.
Yes, I recall you were here insisting that you should
Even
move.
before I came to your program, I wrote, I spoke. You know.
Urging him to move?
Exactly. What else can we do? Today, what is the state of the party? PDP. You know, his predecessor too has moved to his own party. So what are we talking about? You know, so let us see how we can, galvanize the system. And that's what the South-South Working Group is about, especially for our region.
So how has that movement helped Bayelsa State in specific terms?
Yes, the process is on. The people need to be enlightened. Like I mentioned here, docility in politics, especially in my region, is something to worry about. You know, so we want to let the people know in the 21st century, or is it which century are we today now? Somebody will come and tell you that one party is an your party, or one. I don't understand. It doesn't.
Are there regional parties?
At this time we are talking about this.
There are national parties. Because
national parties.
For INEC to register a party, you must have presence in
all states of the federation.
So any registered political party is deemed to be a national party.
So then you want to now clocks people to a corner and all that kind of thing. And people do it all over. So many parties still registered. And ask the question, agree, okay, people can congregate if you want to, but to what end? That's the question we should be asking.
There's freedom of association, freedom of expression.
That's what I'm saying. You can go and congregate, whatever you want to. You can form Mama, Papa, Peking party in your house. But to what end? So this is where the South-South Working Group wants to anchor and let our people know that.
So your position is that the South-South must play
national politics.
National politics,
Yes.
and not be in opposition.
No, we cannot be in the opposition. For what? The historical perspective, if you want me to go there.
But it's not
Just
criminal
hold on.
to be
the
in
historical
opposition.
perspective, if you want to go there. That's one of the principles that's guiding me. Our fathers, pre-1960 and thereabout, formed the Niger Delta Congress. It's a political party. The party didn't fly. Nobody knew about it, except a few people then, and it from the region.
Maybe that Niger Delta Congress limited it.
Exactly, you know. So at the end of the day, until they now fused into or come into partnership, I don't know the phrase now to use, with the Northern People's Congress Alliance.
Yes. MPC.
That's where people like Okilo begin to hear your name, Dapabiriye.
That Northern People's Congress sounds regional. Because they say Northern.
Regional, you know. So that is where we try to talk to our people. Agree, like I said, because we are free to do whatever you want to do. Come together, call people together. But again, in any new enterprise, that is how people must flock to you. To go and see what is there, what do you have to offer. You know. Especially nowadays that the parties don't even have ideologies anymore.
So if you want South, the people of Bayelsa to play what we call, in quote, mainstream politics, and APC loses in the next election, do you expect them to also move again to mainstream?
That is why I mentioned now the lack of ideology of political parties. Now the kind of party to play anywhere but left face, that kind of phrase, you know, we use. So when the majority speaks, who are we, the minority, to say? They say majority carries the day, while the minority have their say.
Absolutely.
The entire country is on one wave. Even the one that's mentioning ADC, is it which one again, the Labour Party or whatever you want to call it? I ask myself, is it not the same persons who have left, who maybe by now, the palm oil is no more on their lips, and they decide to leave? And again, going further, some persons don't want to subsume themselves to other people's authority. That is not politics. Then that's the self-centered politics you are playing.
I don't understand what you mean by that.
I don't want to mention names.
Better,
people,
we don't trade on names. We don't trade on
some persons who just immediate past government are no more in their party. They left. You played a major role. You rose to become the minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, or the Senate of the Federal Republic, House of Reps member, a local government chairman, and all of it put together. And just because you don't want to submit yourself to somebody else's leadership, you pulled away. What kind of politics are we playing? If even you rose to become a former governor, a minister, and then your party progressed to win the next election, I thought you should be hand in gloves working with the party at all levels. But it's not what we have here.
But the Constitution guarantees the freedom of expression.
We're still coming back to use the Constitution to...
That's the ground now.
Yes, ennoble what we are doing.
Yes.
But in moral sense of the word...
Is there morality in Nigeria's politics?
That is... It's left for anybody to answer.
Now, let's look at what Bola Tinubu did, because it appears to be the template so many people are looking at and copying, and for references. From AD, with control of all the states in the southwest, it was reduced to just one Lagos state. The governor then, now president, rechristened AD to ACN and built from there, using the southwest as base.
Yes.
Got some relevance, recovered some states, and aligned with other elements in other parts of the country. So is it bad for someone to build a party, nurture a party? Buhari and his men built a registered CPC, built, nurtured it, and formed an alliance.
Yes, you've come to the crux of the matter.
Yes.
You see, there was a certain vice president who muzzled his way in PDP. You leave, go to another party, you come back to PDP. At that time, asked a simple question.
Now in ADC.
ADC, can't you now nurture your party? Can't you nurture a party? Somebody have done it before. Can't you nurture your party, build it to national prominence? You are walking, you know, round, and making no progress. So yes, I agree with you. You can nurture party, but when you want to clone it to just a section. I gave it to the president, the sagacity he has in doing that those days. And people are wondering. And I said, this is a man that people need to go and study. It has become an institution in Nigerian politics. Forget that he's the president today. Go and study the antics of this man's politics.
But he was, the party was then built around him. He was known as the leader of the party, national leader of the party.
That is the reason why we have to go and see him. People need to go and meet with him to study the underlying factors, what he uses, how did he come about it, the strategy. Today I made mention of strategic intelligence. Strategic intelligence is very important in whatever we do in politics or in any aspect of life. But people are not doing it. We just sit down and want people to come and... For how long are we going to be doing that?
Is there a practice of, okay, let the Niger Delta or let Bayelsa State not put all their eggs in one basket?
There's nothing like eggs in one basket. This election, coming election, is taken already.
Is what?
It's taken already.
In what ways?
It's taken already. I will not tell you. It's taken already.
No, so that we understand and flow with you.
No, let nobody come to maybe television stations to speak grammar. It's just maybe for face-saving, whatever.
With what is happening in the coalition in ADC?
See, let me tell you. People, you see, when you mention these things, people want to draw attention back to what happened, the formative stages of the APC then. No, but the dynamics have changed. Even people mention the Labour Party former presidential candidate and say, no, that wave is gone. That wave is no more there.
Are you certain?
No, you see, look, once you miss the track, you miss the track. You have to work extremely hard for you to come back to the track.
Buhari tried.
The opposition is not doing it.
Buhari tried 3 times and failed.
The opposition is not doing it. They are not. You see, I mentioned strategy just now. Okay, what are the countermeasures to fight the APC government? Tell me. What have they put forward to say these are the things that we want to do differently?
Now, let's talk strategy. You mentioned strategy. Let's talk strategy.
Yes.
Maybe because it will take us and let's go on an early break. When we come back, we'll go into the strategy deployed by the ruling party and strategy the opposition parties are relying on. We'll see with the premises we'll throw up whether it will align with my guest's conclusion that the outcome is already taken. We'll determine that after this short break. Do stay with us.
Politics must be about the people, not the vested interests, not the buccaneers who equate themselves with the states. We are in this game, we are in this for the national interest. First, the human beings, the people, without discrimination. Whether irrespective of religion or tribe, and that's why our democracy is so flawed. Not only do you have a political elite, and I keep saying that the Nigerian political elite is committing class suicide. And they are doing that by not respecting free and fair elections. They are doing that by not promoting and supporting a free and independent judiciary. They are doing that by not supporting the emergence of a free and independent press. They are doing that by not respecting the ideals of service. We have paid a lot of price and we're making a lot of sacrifice to ensure that Nigeria does not descend to a one-party state. The danger is that with the diversity of our nation, which is our strength, and which, by the way, the APC has mismanaged, including some of the characters, some of the leaders who are now forming the ADC. When they were in the APC, I'm not too convinced of their record of respecting and managing Nigeria's diversity. We believe in a country of equal citizenship. Equal citizenship. Acknowledge your right to do what you do. Decide on a party you want to belong to or support. Decide on a candidate you want to support. And don't blankmail somebody else who does not agree with you. At least even if you don't agree in this game, you acknowledge that the person has a democratic right, constitutional right. So your claim to leadership, your claim to anything you do must be based on your competence, your capacity, and not by the God you worship or where you come from. That's not the Nigeria that our forefathers handed over to us.
Thank you so much for staying with us. My guest is Joseph Ambakaderimo, convener, South-South Reawakening Group. And we are taking a look at the state of political parties in Nigeria, especially the opposition ones, ahead of the next election. And we'll dwell more on that. We told you before we went on break. We'll go into strategies adopted by the different political parties. And later we'll look at specific governance issues in Bayelsa State. Thank you so much for staying with us. You're talking about the strategy.
Yes.
Yes, that you're not seeing much from the opposition parties. But the alignment we are seeing now, the 3 out of the 4 key, or the first 4 presidential candidates now in ADC. The fear was that this group of men, gentlemen, can come together. Now they've come together. Perhaps one would say the first strategy is to achieve that alliance, then mop up before you go into that election.
Yes, I agree with you. I'm happy that we are seeing some kind of semblance of seriousness. But we still have a bigger issue. Yes, I agree they've come together, congregating in one party, in one place, they are talking.
Which appeared impossible some weeks back.
Some weeks back. Can we go a little bit further to now let them collapse all their interests in one person?
That's the next hurdle.
Can they do that?
And it's an uphill task.
I don't see, like I said, let's not mention names.
Yeah.
But I don't see the character of some of these persons. Their output in the past. Can they subsume their interests and allow the overriding interest of the party prevail? That is where the work is.
The first is coming together. The next is agreeing on who will be the candidate and the running mate.
You know, so I still see lay back of all of these people. And I mentioned something in one of my press statements in Port Harcourt, in Yenagua, about a fortnight ago. I said, if the ADC had brought a young talk, I would have even supported ADC.
For a presidential ticket?
Yes. Let's have a new face, a new thinking, a new approach to governance.
Does P2B not represent that?
That discussion will be for another day.
Okay.
I have my reservations.
Yes.
I have my reservation on that man.
You can share it.
You know. So we want somebody, a young talk that will come, supported by the old guard. I thought for the period I didn't see David Mark, I was a little bit, happy that I had taken the backstage. All of a sudden, I saw him being propped up to come and do what?
He's the chairman of the party.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I heard? Because we keep our ears to the ground. The ADC will not risk putting anybody as chairman that can easily be compromised. They needed someone, a statesman who has so much reputation to protect, who cannot be bought over. So that's why the choice of David Mark came up.
Is the ADC now not even at the verge of collapse?
Because
we have two factions already.
You saw what happened with Labour Party, with the young talk, Julius Abure. And issues came up. So the APC may have learned from that and said, let's go for it.
The Labour Party had their own issues, internal issues that they couldn't manage. Not that the man didn't do well. Just Abure didn't do well. It was everywhere with the presidential candidate. Full support. But internal party wranglings.
Dynamics.
Which even today I still mention can still happen in the APC.
Are you certain of that?
Why not? Why not?
Is APC also not under that threat?
For me, PDP was an institution that other people from other countries should come and look at and learn and take things home to their countries. That was where the party was going. But all of a sudden, it crashes like a pack of cards. So, it's the character of our people. Like I used to tell people a lot, I say, the system is not the problem, but the managers of the system is the problem. We play politics of acrimony. Too much acrimony in our politics.
Let's look at some scenario. If the ADC, Juan Kwaso, Atiku Abubakar, Obi agree on a single candidate, and others queued behind, because that was the turning point for the APC in 2014.
Yes.
They went for a convention in Lagos. Buhari won. Kwankwaso second. Tinubu, Atiku third. But somehow they were able to galvanize a support for Buhari. If that happens in ADC, are we going to see a repeat of 2015?
I'm very happy. Let them go to the field. Let them do it and go to the field. Let the best man get the job. Simple. Let them go to the field. Let them do it. Bring somebody out and face Mr. President. Face the APC. Then we know where the scales will fall. I like competition.
What are the strengths of the ruling party that make you so certain of victory?
What has the opposition come to tell us? What do they want to do differently? Up to now, they've not known, the Nigerians don't know what they want to do differently.
So have they not been mounting it? The last I heard, they said, yes, our candidates in the last presidential election promised that they will remove subsidy. But the difference in what they have said with what the president has done is that he didn't put anything in place to cushion the effect. He just abandoned the people to their fate. They have said, we would have put social safety nets in such a way that it will not impact so much on the people.
The audacity for Bola Ahmed Tinubu to do that thing should be celebrated. Agree, doing palliative safety nets, you take your time, and those who are involved in the arbitrage will continue to do their business. To whose detriment? So, as he came and made that speech that day, I applauded him. Let's look for a way around it. Because this thing was getting too much. The embarrassment was getting too much.
Without a cabinet in place, without the government not fully formed to take charge. Because once he made that statement, it was, in quotes, hell what, let loose.
Yes,
confusion everywhere.
Let the hell let loose for once. And let's find our bearing. We have been living on borrowed ropes in this country.
Have we found our bearing?
Yes, we are on the path to it. It is not easy for reforms to take shape. For people to buy into reforms.
That's what we keep hearing.
People all over the world, people fight reforms. It has not gone through, scaled through easily from anywhere in the world, over the world. If you want to do reforms, you must wear the iron-clad suit. Because arrows will be thrown out, even if from within your party. Because if you look at what was going on, it was a sleaze with no end. A sleaze with no end. And we know the position that we wear. Look at what happened with the CBN. Look at all of the issues. Today we are not hearing such issues again. That is a plus.
We'll come back to national politics, but let's go into Bayelsa.
Yes.
What has it been for this administration?
Well, so far so good. The governor, for me, for those who know me, you know I am somebody who likes to hold people to account. I don't joke with that because I know my cosmopolitan nature. I've traveled, by the grace of God, far and wide, so I know how people live.
Have you gotten to the end of the world?
I have not. That's why I say,
okay, just by the way.
You know. So things of that nature, you come back home and you look at yourself and you find yourself in a squalor. You know, it spits your imagination. What is being used to develop the resources in the place that we go to for holidays. Even some of us go for a weekend in London, in Dubai, and come back.
Just for a weekend?
Just for a weekend, right? And you go and you can't come back and replicate what you've seen in those places. That there must be something wrong with you. So we need to, that's why I keep saying that we must hold our leaders to account. The resources are coming in. Personally, the infrastructure development of Bayelsa, my state, has improved tremendously.
Is it because the governor taking money accruing to the revenue federation?
That is a factor too. Well used, judiciously used, religiously used, if you want me to use those phrases. Taking up from where the former governor left. The 3 senatorial roads are going on. There is one road that I'm so glad about, the one passing through my community to Onitsha. I know the role I played in that, on that road.
That's Onitsha in Anambra State.
Yes. And that was the road I've been passionate about. And I christened that section of that road as a south-south-southeast industrial corridor. Because from Bayelsa, you just go to Onitsha straight. Less than 2 hours, you're in Onitsha.
It cuts down the travel time.
Yes. So that's another corridor that even the federal government should be called to look into.
This is a federal road.
So I christened it the South-East-South-South Industrial Corridor. And I know the number of times I spoke with the former governor to say, look, partner with Delta State government, River State government, the NDDC, the Federal Ministry of Works, and what again? What agency again?
Perhaps Anambra State government.
Exactly. You don't listen to Obosi in Onitsha. We all know Onitsha is the epicenter of trade and commerce in the southeast. Then you may Bayelsa the epicenter of trade and commerce in the south-south.
And if there's a deep sea port somewhere,
of course, there's one being tried to be developed. I too played a role on that project. So you sit down and you see progress, you see prosperity staring you in the face. And that's what Governor Dejiri is doing.
Is that why they call it prosperity administration?
Exactly.
Has it really trickled down to the people? Because one thing is about projects. Another thing is the welfare, whether it trickles down, whether it reflects in their welfare and well-being.
Yeah, let me explain something to you that little people don't understand. And this question keeps recurring. And I explain to people. You see, when you start a project, Bayelsa today is like a work in progress. If you don't get these roads done, to open up the state, there's nothing anybody can do. Government cannot put money in people's pockets. The only way government can put money in people's pockets is by opening up the state and let small businesses thrive. Because we agree and say that small businesses are the backbone of every economy all over the world. So if you don't do that, open up. Like the electricity project that today we're talking about, the 60 megawatt gas turbine. It's a game changer. Because if you agree with me, except you don't, maybe I will how to educate you, Bayelsa have a trajectory. Negative one about the provision of electricity via gas turbine power plants. Very, very nasty story in the past. But today,
yes, it's been off
very, very
from the
story.
national grid for some time.
Even when I saw this project read in the newspapers, I was not convinced. I had to make calls, even up to the managing director of the Bayelsa Electricity Company. I asked him. I said, come, what is going on? Are we going to see the light of this project? He called me. I went to his office many, many times.
Did he speak to you about how this project will be managed? Whether it should be handed over to a firm?
Everything is in place. That is why I'm very happy today. Everything is in place about this project. I go to the project, to the racial site, almost on a daily basis. Because I'm very passionate about providing power in Bayelsa for our people. That is what many, many governments in the past couldn't do. But today we are seeing the practical experiment going on. And I hear Mr. President will be in Bayelsa in the next 2 weeks to commission it. Maintenance contract has been put in place. Gas supply facility is there. Spare parts provision is in place for about 15, 20 years. Those provisions have been made. So it's a very, very coordinated project and approach that the governor is taking. So if you don't do this, how will the people get empowered? This project will make people do their businesses, lighten up their factories, small production factories they have in Bayelsa that have been running on generator. If you know, some time ago, Bayelsa was like 6 months disconnected from the national grid because of theft and sabotage.
I'm just thinking
of the
gas
lines.
turbine and federal government keeps increasing the price of gas almost every time.
These are the kind of things that people should...
Are there guaranteed gas supply to this plant?
Yes, there is. There is. Belwando. There is. And of course, don't forget, Bayelsa is the largest gas endowed state in Nigeria, even not West Africa. You know. And I've been urging even the government to look into that direction. Gas facilities to be run differently in the states, you know, to boost that could prop up the economy of the state.
Let's get back to politics. We've talked about economy. Would you say Bayelsa is an APC state?
So far, right now, Bayelsa is an APC state. It is.
Just because the state government or the state governor is
not by the state.
APC
No, not by the state governor being in office and the sitting governor as APC governor. No. You see, what's going on now is everybody, like I mentioned here, everybody want to participate in doing one thing or the other. But the governor has been steadfast and coordinated, focused. You go and discuss politics with him, he tell you, no. I have my hands full with projects. Let me do my project first. Then when it's time to play politics, we'll play politics.
And that time will soon come, because very soon
it's
issue
already
of
there.
successor will come up.
It will. We have close about 2 years to go. So we will now know the nitty, I call it grits, the grits. That time, that we will know the grits. Don't forget, some time ago, from our father today, former President Goodluck Jonathan, he said the governors are the garrison commanders of the parties. I don't forget that phrase. And not today. It's not today. It has been so in the past. Still, even those who have left office as governors, they know.
They will help to.
They know how to win the elections.
Their party's candidate for an election. Is
So
it not where their strength ends?
Those who come and say, no, it's not. Those who come and say, let everybody go to APC, governors go, they would have, after all, the governors have one vote. I agree. But we know how elections are being worked in Nigeria.
Yes,
so
for governorship.
Yes.
If we talk about elections in Nigeria, 8 former governors failed to get elected into the Senate. These governors, you said,
they didn't work well. They didn't do it
sitting
well.
governors, the garrison commanders, the chief security officer, were rejected. In Enugu State, for instance, former governor, then sitting governor, what's the name again? Former governor of Enugu State, just escaped my mind, lost.
Sullivan Shime?
No, not Sullivan.
Okay.
No, not. Very last governor, Enugu State. Buruburu, yes. Governor of Benue.
Heart when you are a governor. If you are a listening governor, you listen, you will do well. Some of them just go to the office and sit down there and just feel, you know,
yes,
and all is good, all is well.
In governorship election, you can make that argument. But in a presidential election, some facts have said they are different. Peter Obi had no governor. He won 12 states during the presidential election.
Because he worked well. That's why I say you must know the how. You don't know the how to do it, then you just sit down because you're a governor. Then you come and, how? Your people working with your aides working with you, the team working with you, must be coordinated. They must be on one page.
And you push it towards one direction.
Yes. These are the things we talk about in politics. Even if I'm not, you know, my legs and hands are not in the game. But we can see
you understand the
Of course, yes.
The nitty-gritty.
I'm a workhorse in that field. So we must direct people and tell them what to do. If I live here today, I'm going to my community to tell them. I'm holding a stakeholders meeting from the grassroots.
Yeah, politics is local.
Let people feel you. Let them feel you. Not just you come with your forerunner or come and talk to people and walk away. No.
Only to return during the next election
next election. Go and be with your people at all times. Let them see you. Let them come to your house, come to your home. sit down and talk with you, drink beer, ogogoro with you.
That's what you do in Nigeria.
Yeah, of course. If you don't do that, you can't make any progress. They will just come and take your small things you want to give to them and walk away. If I information reading from my own community now, I want to go and replicate, tell them that I've come. So this is the direction. So everybody should go there. So you need to be with your people. It's not politics. You see, I don't know, the way we, like I mentioned earlier, too much acrimony. The leaders in the community must come together. You as a political leader, you must meet people.
You must consult
with them. Negotiate with them. We know how politics is being done at the grassroots.
You must get down from your high horse.
From your high horse and come and talk to the people. If I go to my community today, some persons who are politicians there, they can't even come there. People will listen to me first before they listen to those people.
They trust in you the most?
Of course now. Why not?
So why?
I'm a selfless person.
Why have you not joined politics?
No,
so that you can take advantage of this capital.
I can't stomach the kind of things they do. I can't stomach it. Like I mentioned to you, I'm a cosmopolitan person. You know, I like congregating. You know, come to me. If you come to my office, you see how I live with my staff. You don't even know, except somebody tell you this is chairman of the company. You will not know. I eat together with my staff.
So they said the good people keep staying away from politics, leaving bad import people to run it. Because it's too dirty.
We will make them become good. They will change. They will change. We will make them sit up.
We have to work for that change.
Yes, we have to work for it. Let everybody sit down. Because you see, when society is developing, you too, who is at leadership position, you have less to worry. Look at today's insecurity in the country. You can't imagine it.
It's unimaginable.
When you go around the cities in Nigeria, you see young men holding shovels, buckets, over 60, 700 in different, like in Benin. I begin to see them now in Yenagoa. Go to Port Harcourt. I was in Lagos. You see them everywhere in Lagos. These are persons that could be deployed to work in the factories.
Farm hands, factory hands.
Where is the biggest, apart from the Dangote and the Boa people, where are the other ones that are coming up that can run 3 shifts? These are the kind of enterprise that will take in people from the streets.
Absolutely.
If a young man, my brother, those who have tasted hunger, you can do anything for it.
Absolutely.
To assuage that feeling of hunger. So everybody just lying quiet. Nobody saying anything. And we throw our hands up in the air and we are giving up. And the bad guys are taking over. For how long?
Okay, we hope that change will come. That change, when it comes, you'll be tempted to go in there and do.
Of course, why? If we see become clear change in the way politics is being played, you know, why not? We can look for people to come and
that makes 2 of us.
Yes.
That makes 2 of us. We have to thank you so much, Joseph Ambakaderimo, convener South Reawakening Group, for joining us today.
Thank you.
And we wish you well as you get to your village.
Yes.
Very soon.
Thank you.
As usual. Thank you also for being part of the discourse today. My name is Amechi Anapu. Have a good time.